The frugality content on YouTube normally consists of a man or a woman in a plain t-shirt in a plain minimalist room talking about how they are really frugal with their money and they have all these habits that are helping them to save and invest and maximize those investments so that they can retire early. I have a problem with that content, and my problem is that it's just too boring, it's too unrealistic, and I feel like it's devoid of charm and fun and enjoyment. I don't know why you can be so frugal so consistently like that. And I'm talking as a person who has consistently saved. I've saved since I started working, and I've been investing my money and also been trying to kind of be frugal and be smart with how I spend it. Yet somehow the frugality content is just too extreme. I can't handle it, because me personally, I also like to try different business ventures and I'm interested in risk as well, calculated risk, but I've always been more focused on trying to increase my income. And what I feel is missing from the frugality content is the obsession with saving doesn't leave room for putting mental energy into actually earning more income. And this is just so annoying to me. Like, I understand it, right? I understand that maximizing your savings and spending intelligently is obviously it's an important habit to have, and it matters in terms of building wealth. But the truth is, if you really want to be rich, you're never going to save your way into true wealth. It does make sense to obviously save more than you earn, and like spend less than you earn and save the remainder and invest that in the long term and maximize pension earnings and all of that. I do all of that and I advocate for that. But you also have to be able to spend and have fun and experiment a bit and invest in yourself and do things that will help you grow. And this is completely missing from a lot of the frugality content on YouTube. I feel like it's a real scarcity mindset, and it has to be talked about because it's a trap. I think it's a trap for a lot of people. It allows you to stay at a certain level of income and then just be comfortable within that level of income, and then focus your time and energy on optimizing for saving and getting the best deal out of everything and decreasing your spending rate. But there's only so much you can optimize how much you spend. And the problem is, without focusing on how to earn more income and get your income up, you're not actually going to increase your savings rate that significantly to actually become really rich. Now, you can definitely retire early, and I think I'm on the path to retiring in my 50s, probably, with the progress I've made in my own pension. But that's not really the goal, right? I want the option to retire early in my own journey, but the point is to make more money ultimately, and then invest that money intelligently and be sensible with it. But also, the point is to live life as well and get good experiences and spend money in a way that means I'm not going to have regrets looking back at what I didn't do or what I could have done with my money had I not been so frugal. So really, to live a rich life and to maximize income and to really build wealth, yes, you need to have those good habits, but frugality goes too extreme, and then it ignores what's really going to move the needle, which is earning more income. Now, obviously, earning more is easier said than done, but the FIRE content and the FIRE mindset gets very boring, and I feel like too much focus on that misses the point. And for those of us who naturally gravitate towards frugality and who are natural savers, because me personally, I always have been very interested in understanding money since I was a teenager, and it kind of was a driving force behind my career path and my life, because we just didn't have much money growing up, and it was always a cause for stress and just struggle. So I've always been a saver, but there's only so much energy, there's only so much attention you should put into trying to save money and trying to be frugal, because ultimately the way you really move forward and the way you actually earn more money is you have to change, you have to develop yourself, get more skills, put yourself out there and really grow. And to do that does require investment. Sometimes it requires support and mentorship. Sometimes it requires buying books and courses and certifications or whatever, or it requires going on trips, doing networking events, putting yourself out there. And sometimes there are things like health, or you might need to buy a car, or do that trip, do that family thing that will cost some money but will be very important and meaningful. You have to do those things, and without doing them you can't kind of be like psychologically blocked. And I feel like the scarcity mindset of frugality is just too much of a blocker, and really most of your time and attention should be on trying to earn more. So how I've approached this personally, and I currently earn just over 100,000 in a tech job, and I've been doing my tech career for over 11 years now. Also started my own company, consulting on the side. I have really noticed that the more I've invested in myself and the more I have followed my curiosity in terms of how I want to develop myself and how I've leaned into fear, that has been more useful and has paid off much more than just focusing on trying to optimize my savings rate. If I never took a risk and moved to London when I was 23 years old, then I wouldn't have been able to increase my salary by 50% and then increase it again by 50% 18 months later. And then 3 years later, I doubled my salary again. And, those opportunities would not have been available for me had I not moved to London. So I think, and also, right, in the last 3 years, I started my own company, and that has also opened my eyes and changed my mindset around money as well, because I've started to think more like a business owner and realized that with business expenses, there's so much you can reinvest into the business and yourself for pushing yourself forward and getting more business in. And then that becomes its own self-fulfilling circle. So I've really found that investing in myself and looking for those opportunities to kind of grow, put myself out of my comfort zone and really just take chances and really just try to earn more has helped so much. And networking, finding the right people, finding mentors, coaches, whatever, all of that is so essential for actually doing what is required to earn more money. So the frugal stuff, right? Being good, having good habits, yes, that is a requirement, because if you earn loads of money but then spend it all, you're not going to build any wealth. So it's obviously a prerequisite, but I think that FIRE and frugality content on YouTube misses the point, and it's just lacking fun and enjoyment, right? It's kind of lacking this kind of, it's almost lacking sex appeal, right? There's no risk, there's no adventure, there's no putting yourself out of your comfort zone. It's all just kind of staying safe in your bubble of comfort and living your nice life, and it's all very certain. When you have, say, 3,000 a month coming in, and you can optimize and save an extra 100 or 200 here and there, that's all well and good, but it's just not really going to move the needle in terms of long-term wealth. And yes, you can be a millionaire by the time you're in your 60s and retiring, but me personally, I'm more interested in having the good habits and having enough saved for retirement and giving myself those options as a fallback, so that when I get into my 50s, I don't necessarily have to work if I don't want to, but I want to focus on business, and also I want to enjoy what I'm doing while I'm doing it. And this is the thing, right? Another problem with the FIRE movement is that it's all just about working a job that you might not necessarily like, or working a career and just retiring as early as you can, as if when you actually get to that early retirement, say in your 40s, which some people actually manage to do, you get to your retirement in your 40s, you're still going to need to do something. You're still going to want to do some kind of work. And the problem is that a lot of the FIRE people, they're just focused on doing a job that they probably don't even like, or maybe that they tolerate, but it doesn't give them passion. And the way I think about this is that it makes more sense to obviously work a job that pays the bills. And if you're I'm in the tech industry, right? So obviously that's a great job for me and it supports me in my lifestyle. But the real aim, the real goal is to move into business full time, move from the side hustle to full time working for myself and enjoying that, and enjoying the building phase of enjoying building, because that is really what it's about for me, is enjoying what I'm doing and building something that will last me for the rest of my life. And that's how I look at it. I want to actually do what makes me passionate. I want to be doing something that's enjoyable, and I don't see that at all in frugality content or the FIRE movement. And I know it's tough out there. Not everyone can be in my position or in this income bracket, but that's just how I feel. FIRE and frugality is playing way too small. It's missing the point, and it's just lacking that fun, that excitement, that adventure, that risk taking, that I think is what makes life worth living, and is what actually excites me about the journey of wealth and about money. If it was all just about scrimping and saving, I would not be making content like this, because it's boring. But mastering money is also about mastering risk, understanding risk, and taking calculated risks while protecting your downside. And that's just, so important. In terms of risk as well, I mean, I've learned a lot of valuable lessons. I traded crypto in my 20s. I invested in it. I bought and sold through several bull markets in crypto, and somehow I didn't really make any real profits. So all the time I spent trading crypto essentially was a waste of time, apart from the lessons that I learned. But that's a topic for another video, I think. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks very much. If you like what you've seen, then stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one.